Pisces, hi. Last but not least, welcome to your April reading. This is for Pisces Sun, Moon, Rising, Midheaven, and or Venus. However, whoever was meant to click on this video, you're here. And so I hope you hear all that you need, as there was a reason that you were brought here. Let's get into the spread. I'm already late enough, right? But still on time. Like, you are going to see this when you're meant to see this regardless. But what came up for you guys for the month of April, you have the Judgment card with the Seven of Coins and the Wheel of Fortune with the Page of Wands horizontally laid that came out as like energies that you could have felt during this first week of Aries season. So a lot of replanting, a lot of reimagining, a lot of like organizing, getting things cleaned, right? Spring cleaning. And so not just on a very literal sense in speaking of like your home, right? Your room space, but this is beyond that. This is cleaning up your desk area at work. This is cleaning up those work associates, right? Those co-workers that are just messy, gossipy, really don't even do what they're supposed to do. So you're left with handling all of those responsibilities at the end of the day, and then they just try to laugh it off like, haha, oh, I just moved so slow. Like, there's always like that type of excuse. You're cleaning up that, right? You're setting boundaries around that. You may be applying for more jobs, right? Because from the Seven of Coins, you left the Six, and Six talks about really being more focused on the quality of work and the quality of people and the quality of time than the quantity itself. And having to work those dead-end jobs. So maybe you just left a job, you quit a job, and you're needing to fix your resume up because it's outdated, and because you know that you need to really represent who you are as a person and what it is that you've learned from that last job. So cleaning up your resumes and your CVs and applying for other jobs. This is also just looking at your family and your friends, like who needs to go, who is really supportive and who isn't, who's showing up for you, who is pretty consistent, who reaches out. Are you the one that's always reaching out? Do things seem to be one-sided? So you're looking at those. You are really watering and refertilizing what is working, and really taking your time with fostering those relationships. If you have had some new relationships come in the past 7 months, 7 weeks, 7 years, 7 days, here with this energy. So really, you know, just again, taking care and cultivating the things that are working, and then weeding out what doesn't. With the Wheel of Fortune and the Page of Wands, this is really excitable energy. This is like divine intervention is what I'm hearing. So okay, we'll go with that. Divine intervention. This can be a fire sign coming in, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. This can be somebody that is younger in spirit, if not in age, with this page energy. Very determined, very ambitious, courageous, very free-spirited, radiant, okay? Independent, fierce is what I'm hearing. But there is a regality to it. There's still that grace with which they move about things. And so really take what you can from your interaction with this person, if it's another person and it's not a placement within you that you're having to show more of an appreciation for having, right? Bringing out that aspect of your persona, as we are multifaceted individuals, as you are Pisces. Okay, you bring everything together. At the end of the day, you are a composite of all 12 zodiac signs, which is what gives you that wisdom, which is what helps you have the heightened sense of intuition that you do have, where you have the ability to, what is it called? Like is it precognitive? Very perspicacious, maybe that's what I want to say. Where you, I don't know, fuck, you just know stuff before you know stuff. You don't even know why you know what you know. I mean, the more mature you are, the more spiritual you are, then you know. But at the same time, it's just like the level of accuracy, it's unbelievable. So that's what you guys have. You guys have divine intervention. Again, maybe with work, maybe with a relationship, it does a complete 180. Just the way that these cards came out, where you've been going at it for a while, you're not really sure if you can go any further in the relationship because they don't really seem to want it badly enough. They don't seem to share that same level of transparency, same level of passion, right? If the goals and the vision just all of a sudden they have been going in the opposite direction, like the fish that you are, just swimming in opposing directions. There's that clash. There's either a coming together or, again, that divine intervention where the universe will literally put an end to the relationship because you didn't have the courage to do it yourself. Okay? This can be somebody else coming in with the Page of Wands energy, right? This can be a third wheel. And so the both of you just stopped really putting that effort into the relationship, which means that there is an increased risk of the partner being tempted by somebody else who shows the slightest interest in them because they feel like they're not getting it at home with this Eight of Cups energy, Two of Wands energy here. Okay? And so being flirtatious, and especially if drinks could be involved just with the Cups energy being here, again, just a lack of caring. You mix all of that up, what you have is a recipe for disaster, is what I'm hearing. And so you can expect there to be an increased risk of infidelity. So somebody may have cheated, and now maybe feeling guilty because they know that, you know, this is a deal breaker. There's no way that they can make this right. There's no way that they could be forgiven for this potential sin. So if you've been in a marriage, because the Seven of Coins are relationships that are more contractually binding, so it would be a marriage or it would be a business partnership, and there being just some level of betrayal that happened here with the Eight of Cups energy, or behaving in a way that was very contradictory to the overall statement, the mission of the company, the rules and regulations, policies, procedures, stuff like that. So yeah, that can be exposed, and of course that's not going to feel good when you put your trust in somebody who at the end of the day just drops the ball, right? It's disappointing, and that's what I'm getting a sense of. You guys are going to be feeling quite disappointed either in yourself or in somebody else this month, but just try not to be too harsh. Okay, just imagine if this is somebody else that has done something to you that causes some sort of physical pain with the Wands energy that's here. Just imagine, although you have a different set of morals and beliefs, you were raised very differently, okay, and as you come to understand that, this will make a lot more sense. I just don't know, because my audience is so wide as far as the age range is concerned, so I'm not sure who I'm really speaking to at this moment, but if you are young, it just comes with experience. Sadly but surely, you come to understand that no two people are the same. Like the types of rules, right, that you had in your home, what your curfew was, what you were able to wear, right, what time you had to have your homework done by, was it more structured, right? Were you more sheltered growing up, or did you have the freedom to do whatever you wanted? And not having those restrictions, how has that hurt you, right? You're having to look at all of these different things when it comes to dealing with other people. Every time you have an interaction with somebody else, you can't expect them to respond in the way that you hope them to, right? Interact, behave in the way that you are familiar with. It won't happen. So with this, that being said, you have to put yourself in their shoes in a sense, right? Again, you may not have done what they have done, but just when you make a mistake, you know how bad it feels to make a mistake. You know how apologetic, there we go. You know how apologetic you are in that moment, and that you're really looking to have the opportunity to fix the mistake. Like, the last thing that you need is for somebody to be yelling at you about like what it is that you did wrong. You already know what it is that you've done wrong, okay? And yelling isn't going to solve the problem. That doesn't make you want to be more vulnerable, right? That doesn't make you want to be any more apologetic. If anything else, then you become defensive. And then you're ready to fight. You still want people to have that grace, right? To show you some type of mercy. So in the same way that you would hope to be granted that, do that for other people. Your forgiveness does not have to come with re-entry into your life. And I feel like some of you guys may be confused about that or have a hard time with that, because you can be those nice types of people who are so easily walked over. And I'm getting that with the death energy that came up with Scorpio's energy here. You have a hard time with knowing whether or not to be a little bit more patient or to cut people off, and so you can cause yourself some stress and anxiety with having to make those sorts of decisions, those sort of permanent decisions in a sense, again, and trying to always make sure that you're doing the right thing. You don't want to keep bad seeds around, and that is understandable. So really use your discernment this month. That can be at your advantage. You aren't in water, like you aren't in a watery atmosphere, and so you're kind of like a fish out of water this month. It can be hard to breathe, it can be hard to navigate, but the beauty of fire energy is that it spreads. The beauty of love and light is that, you know, it's infectious, it spreads. And so just keep that in mind as you're moving through the month. No matter how nasty somebody might be with you, lead with love. Make sure that you're looking at things with the glass half full instead of half empty. Some of you guys are really about to go through a period of transformation, and you're feeling really scared because you don't know what to expect. You don't really, like, there's a fear of the unknown as far as what's ahead. There's some type of evolution, some type of change that is occurring, some type of travel, like astral travel, some type of like outer body experience to some degree. Family life can be changing with this death energy that's here. So it can be the death or the birth of a child, right? Death of a family member. Stuff like that. If you're thinking about things like that, it can cause you stress. Don't think too hard or too heavily on it right now if there's no reason for you to even go there and thought, like, you don't have a medical diagnosis that's telling you that you have 2 weeks to live. I don't really feel like you should be stressing and crying over writing out your will at 22. Of course, tomorrow is not guaranteed, but you still have time to make those types of permanent decisions. If you're doing it just from a spiritual standpoint, I'm getting ayahuasca as an example. So if you are deciding to do that, just proceed with caution. But again, if not, there's transformation and having to leave behind one aspect of yourself for a new chapter. If you're going from being single to being in a relationship, there's going to be quite an adjustment period, right? A grace period. That learning curve of, again, having to flip that switch on where you are pretty regularly thinking about somebody outside of yourself without losing your sense of self and your identity, and allowing people to run you ragged, again, because you guys are kind and you do selflessly give of yourself. Just making sure that you're not depleting yourself on an emotional and energetic level, that you're saving enough for you and your responsibilities, but also know that as you elevate in your commitment level, that you can't continue to entertain other things and other people, right? Your friends are going to get less of you than what they've had with you guys growing up. That can be expected, and that's hard for some people to adjust to. You go from having a best friend that you see 6 days a week to maybe living with them 6 days a week if you guys shared a place together, to now living with your partner who you are going to continue growing through life with. And so the frequency of contact changes. Doesn't mean that you care any less, but it just means that somebody else now has, right, the front seat. If this video resonated for you, do give me a thumbs up. Share this with your friends and family. Do subscribe for more, as well as book a reading with me if you're interested. I start as low as $10 and just go up from there. So there's my email.